Hi again everyone. So this is a video I wanted to make a little while ago, but I've just been a bit too busy. Basically, it's Xela versus XELAP. This is the week that you've got to make your decision on whether or not you want to convert to the preference shares or not, which is XELAP. So last time I did a video saying that I wasn't sure how the XELAP stocks would be weighted in terms of liquidation. The phrasing that they put in the press release was not very clear, so I had to go and do a bit of digging into the SEC filing that had been amended from turning the note offering into preference shares. So what I sort of found is that in actual fact the liquidation value of the preference shares is going to be $25. So if the company goes bust and it have to pay out whatever remaining funds they have, the preference shares will get paid out first at up to $25, and the regular shares will get paid out last. Now the problem is, if the company goes bust, there's a good chance they might not even get to pay out the preference shares anyway, but it just means that whatever money's left over is going to go to them first. So initially I thought it sounded like that one preference share, which has market value of $25, was going to have a payout value of $1.25. In actual fact, it's going to have a payout value of $25. It was just confusing phrasing in the press release. Now, this presents a little bit of a problem for the Xela stock for another reason though, the regular Xela stock. So because the notes offering was meant to be a buyback, a lot of people were hanging on to the Xela shares, hoping that once the deal was sold, there's going to be this big push in price because the amount of assets held by the company was going to now be divided amongst a lower amount of shares, thus the underlying value goes up. Now, because the preference shares are going to be weighted with a liquidation value of $25, a set liquidation value that is, there won't really be much of a dilution. So there won't be much of that squeezing effect on the stock value. So I don't think that Xela stock is actually going to see a bit of a jump following March 10th. So people hanging out for that, I think you're going to be in for a bit of a rude shock, unfortunately. There might be a little bit of a bump from market anticipation, but really the underlying value of those shares is not being changed because they're actually just basically transferring over to the XELAP preference shares. So it's very much like an exercise in accounting. So that's a little bit disappointing to find out. Now, whether it's better to hold Xela or XELAP shares right now, I think really at the moment XELAP would be what I'd be looking to hold. I've said I'm going to convert half my holding in. I'm actually thinking of upping that a little bit higher. Just because it's going to have a boosted underlying value, and you at least have a recurring income with a 6% dividend being paid out for the rest of life holding. Sorry about that. And given the fixed liquidation value of $25, I think you'll actually find there's going to be a greater degree of stability in the XELAP preference shares. It's like you tend to get in preference shares anyway. So I think that's where you should be putting your money at the moment. The Xela stock's not going to really change too much mathematically with the underlying value not changing. And then again, we talked about the problem that there was no release from the company regarding the financial results for Q4. So there's nothing really there. We don't know what we're working on here. We're going in a little bit blind, but I think on the surface at least, it looks like these preference shares are the way to go. So I'm probably going to be transferring more of my Xela stock into it. I'll probably still hold a little bit of Xela stock, because I still do think it is a good company. But I think it's nice to have a bit of payback after a bit of long-term pain from the company. Anyway, if you do want to get the preference shares, you need to contact your broker before March 10th. Try and do it sooner rather than later. It's in a first come, first served basis. I initially got emailed for the notes from my broker, but I think sometimes you just have to actually email your broker directly, like the customer services team. That's how you will arrange it. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I hope you're all going well. The market's trading in your favour. Cheers.